Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome back to our platform, Learn Arabic Today. And today we will be looking at the possessive pronouns or ضمائر الملكية. So before we looked at the subject pronouns that begin a nominal sentence, such as أنا, أنت, هو, أنا, أنت, نحن, هو, هما, hum, hunna, etc. But today we will be looking at the possessive pronouns. Just like in English, the possessive pronouns indicates something belonging to someone, to a person. But instead of naming that person, you put an alternative word, which is a pronoun, to indicate the ownership of that person of something. For example, you say, هذا كتاب ليلى. This is Layla's book, for example. But if you want to say this is her book, you say هذا كتابها. So ha here is the possessive pronoun for her, okay? That corresponds to she in the subject pronouns. I just drew something like a symbolical here, like this is a book and this belongs to this masculine noun. So like this person. So we say هذا كتابه or هذا كتابه. Let's call this guy Ramzi, for example. So هذا كتاب رمزي or هذا كتابه, his book. Okay, and who is a possessive pronoun. Okay, عقد, necklace, and there's a girl here, a female or a feminine noun. Okay, so we say هذا كتاب ليلى. Let's call her Layla. So this is, هذا عقد ليلى. So this is عقد, this necklace belongs to Layla. هذا عقد ليلى. Or هذا عقدها. So ha here stands for her. So هذا عقدها, or this is her necklace. Her necklace. Okay, so let's take a look here. It says here the possessive pronouns in Arabic are suffixes. So if you notice from my pronunciation, I said عقدها. So the word عقد stays the same, except that we added to it a ha. So عقد plus ha, it became عقدها, her necklace. So if you notice that ha is not a word that could stand alone, but it is attached directly to the ending of a noun to change its meaning, to give it a special type of meaning. Likewise, kitabuhu, if you have kitab plus hu, that equals to kitabuhu. So again, the hu ending cannot be a word. It doesn't stand alone in a sentence. It has to be attached to the end of a noun, and that's why we call it a suffix. So possessive pronouns are considered suffixes, and possessive pronouns that correspond to subject pronouns are as follows. So if you remember from a previous lesson, we learned about the subject pronouns أنا, أنت, أنتي for the female, you. So أنا is I, أنت, you for the masculine, singular masculine, أنتي for the singular feminine, second person. هو and هي are third person, he and she. And then نحن, we. And then أنتم, you, second person, subject pronoun. And then hum, third person, they. Okay, so now let's look at the possessive pronouns, which are going to be, as I said, suffixes that will connect. They are suffixes that will connect to the end of a noun, such as the word bait. So I put bait here and bait there to show you that we will try to connect those suffixes or possessive pronouns to the ending of the word bait to indicate different meanings. So if I'm talking about me and this house belongs to me, it's my house. So instead of, you add the e, the long ya sound. So something with a kasra before ya and sukun on the ya. So هذا بيتي. So the ta has kasra and the ya is the suffix pronoun or is the possessive pronoun in this case, just the ya. Okay, so هذا بيت, no, هذا بيتي, that's my house, not just any house. I'm not saying هذا بيت, this is a house. I'm saying this is my house. And so بيتي here becomes a definite noun, right? Okay, then أنت, you add the ka, possessive pronoun, to the end of bait and becomes بيتك. This is your house. Talking to a man, for example, this is your house. هذا بيتك. Talking to a woman, you add ki. So هذا بيتك. Okay. I'm talking about him. So this is his house. His. بيته. For her, you say this is her house. هذا بيتها. بيته وبيتها. Okay. So if it is our house, you say هذا بيتنا, you add na. Okay. And for you, the plural, kum. هذا بيتكم. So we add the kum suffix pronoun. Okay, then hum, you add, it's like a connected hum, not separate hum. And it's like بيتهم, it's their house. Okay, so we have ka, ki, ha, I'm sorry, hu, and ha, and then na, and then kum, and then hum. And also for the plural feminine, I don't know why they don't include them. Hunna, remember when I said hunna for the subject pronoun, or the plural feminine subject pronoun, hunna, it becomes baytuhunna. It's their house. It's not commonly spoken in spoken Arabic. That's why we tend to just talk about women and say this is بيتهم, هذا بيتهم, or هذا بيتهم. We don't care to say بيتهن. But the standard Arabic, the proper Arabic, is بيتهن, not بيتهم. Okay? All right, so it's hunna, attached again. Okay, it says here, in formal Arabic, the pronunciation of these endings varies slightly with different grammatical endings. So looking here, so if you have like, you're talking about your house for a singular masculine, you say بيتك, ka. Whereas for the feminine, your house, a singular masculine, singular feminine, second person pronoun, possessive pronoun, it's ki. So ka for the masculine, ki for the feminine. For the third person, it's hu, singular, and ha for the feminine, singular. So the singular masculine, hu. The singular feminine, ha. So they're kind of similar, but they're different. There are variations. Of course, baytuna stands alone, and kum and hum, they are different. Okay, they're clearly, there are variances between them. Okay, now, and of course, bayti, my house, it's different from the rest. Okay, now, so the vowel sounds here are different. Ka, ki, hu, ha. So they're talking about these vowel ending variations. Okay, it says here in spoken Arabic, some of the vowels in these endings vary slightly among different varieties of Arabic. The spoken endings are fixed for each dialect. Okay? All right, so let's go back and see how some of the endings are different. The ending vowel sounds are different for different dialects. So we're talking about the same possessive pronoun, except it is pronounced differently from one Arab country to another, or from one region to another. For example, if you're talking about the Levantine, they go like هذا بيتك. بيتك. Okay, so we don't put فتحة. بيتك. هذا بيتك. هذا بيته. هذا بيتها. This is how we say it. Now, if you're from North Africa, you say هذا بيتك. هذا بيتك. هذا بيتك. هذا بيته. هذا بيتها. So if you notice, we say بيتها, and in the formal Arabic is بيتها. So this is the, so to speak, the regular long vowel sound a. But whereas if for the North African dialect, it goes ha, like the deeper sound of the long vowel sound a. There is a and there is a. So we say بيتها for the Levantine, for example, but then for the North African region, they go بيتها. B2 is kind of a sharper oo, like instead of o, beto, they go oo, B2. Like instead of beti, my house, they go biti, and things like that. So bitna, okay, bitkum, bithum. This is for the North African, whereas betna, betkum, bethum. So you notice like the slight vowel ending variations or in pronunciation, but from one dialect to another, but these variations are fixed for each dialect, so they do not change from one dialect to, like for each dialect, these pronunciations are kind of fixed. They do not change. Okay, so if you happen to live in North Africa, the spoken endings are fixed for each dialect. Okay, this is the sentence here that says that the spoken endings are fixed for each dialect. So this is like the rule. So if you learn, for example, you want to learn the Levantine dialect or dialects, there are also dialects within the Levantine, you know, like Baiti if you're Lebanese. But if you're Palestinian, you say Baiti. So there are like variations, little slight variations, even within the word itself, not just with the endings. But then for the endings, we did notice that, for example, بيتها versus بيتها, for example. بيتك or بيتك or things like that. Okay, let's take a look here at the تمرين exercise 7. ضمائر الملكية. This belongs in this lesson. ضمائر الملكية, possessive pronouns. And this belongs in the lesson في البيت, page 44, and we're still on الكتاب في تعلم العربية, book 1, second edition. All right, so here they're asking us for each sentence, show whose. Okay, so because we said the possessive pronouns show whose this thing belonged to, whose this thing, for whom is this thing. Okay, so أين كتب أنت? So where are your books? So how can we write this? كتب أنت, remember for you, we add ka, and this is a plural, this is a singular masculine with the a vowel sound. So كتبك, so you have to put the ka with fatha. So أين كتب, and then you have to add, instead of أنت, you add أين كتبك. I'm just going to write it different with another color so you can see the possessive pronoun. Okay, أين كتبك? Where are your books? Okay, talking to a masculine, singular person. Okay, هل تعمل والدة أنت دكتورة? Oh, so we're talking to addressing a female, a singular female person, or a singular female feminine noun. So هل تعمل, does والدة, your mother, work as a doctor? So how are we going to change it? We say هل تعمل, and then we keep والدة, except we have to change the تاء مربوطة into تاء مفتوحة because it is going to be attached now to the key pronoun. هل تعمل والدته and then we add key. هل تعمل والدتك دكتورة? Does she work? Does your mother work as a doctor? علامة استفهام. هل تعمل والدتك دكتورة? Okay. Next هي أردنية وأقارب هي في عمان. So she's Jordanian and the relatives of she are in Amman. So how are we going to say that? So we say هي أردنية. She is Jordanian. We're talking about the female here. And her relatives وأقارب. And then we're going to, instead of هي, we're going to put ها. أقاربها. Her relatives. أقاربها في عمان. They are in عمان. في عمان. All right. And then صورة هو جميلة. His picture is beautiful. So how are we going to say that? So we're going to say صورته, his picture. صورته. So again, we're going to take the تاء مربوطة. Remember when we attach, when the تاء مربوطة is, basically there is a noun that ends with تاء مربوطة. When we attach a possessive pronoun, we have to change that تاء مربوطة into a تاء مفتوحة and pronounce it as such. صورته and then his picture. هو. So his picture. صورته جميلة. His picture is beautiful. All right. So, and then we have more questions. So the more you practice, the more you answer questions, the more it's easy for you to remember the differences between the possessive pronouns. Okay, so we are on question number 5. بيت نحن في هذه المنطقة. بيت نحن في هذه المنطقة. So it's our house in this place. So بيتنا. So we say بيت. We take the word بيت and then we have to attach to it the possessive pronoun that corresponds to نحن, which is نا. بيتنا في هذه المنطقة. Is in this place, is in this region. في هذه المنطقة. Okay. هل عنوان أنت جديد? Is your address new? So how are we going to say this? هل عنوان, remember, and we stretch the noon, you know, we give it the, we're going to try to connect it, right, to the next word. And so what is the possessive pronoun for أنت? Yes, for the plural, for the singular masculine, you. So it is كاف. Okay. هل عنوانك? هل عنوانك جديد? Is your address new? Question mark. All right. Then you have أين تسكن عمة أنت? أين تسكن عمة أنت? Where does your aunt live? So أنت again, we're going to add ك. So أين تسكن عمة, again, this is a تاء مربوطة. We will switch it for a تاء مفتوحة because we will attach to it the suffix pronoun ك. إذن أين تسكن عمتك؟ أين تسكن عمتك؟ أين تسكن عمتك? Where does your aunt live? هل جامعة أنتم قديمة? Is the university of you old, ancient? So how are we going to say that? So أنتم is plural, second person plural possessive pronoun. So what is it going to be? كم, right? You have to add كم, right? So هل جامعة, and again this جامعة has a تاء مربوطة, but you want to say it's their جامعة. So how are we going to say this? Or your جامعة. So هل جامعة, we switch it, we replace the تاء مربوطة with تاء مفتوحة. and then we add kum. Okay, هل جامعتكم قديمة? Is your university old, ancient? Okay, ابن أنا دائما مريض. So my son is always sick. ابن أنا. So I say ابني, remember the E, we have to add the E. Okay, so ابن, and then you add the pronoun, the possessive pronoun E, ابني دائما مريض. Okay, رسالة هو طويل. رسالة هو طويل. رسالة. So you're gonna have to add who, right? So رسالة, his letter is long. رسالة, again we're gonna change the تاء مربوطة to a تاء مفتوحة. We're gonna replace it with a تاء مفتوحة and pronounce it as such. And we're gonna say, we're gonna add instead of who, هو, we're gonna add who. رسالته, his letter is long. طويلة. رسالته طويلة. So let's read the sentences. بيتنا في هذه المنطقة. هل عنوانك جديد؟ أين تسكن عمتك؟ هل جامعتكم قديمة؟ ابني دائما مريض. رسالته طويلة. Okay, then there are more. The next page. أستاذهم يدرس في عمان الآن. Their teacher teaches in Amman. So are we going to add? So what is the possessive pronoun? It's hum, the attached hum. Okay, so أستاذهم, their teacher, أستاذهم. Of course, ذال does not attach. So this one looks like the subject pronoun, but it's not. It's attached to the word, but because ذال is one of the separate letters that cannot attach at the end of a word. So أستاذهم, what about him? يدرس في عمان. He teaches in Amman right now. الآن. Okay. غرفة نحن فعلا واسعة. غرفة نحن. So basically our room, right? Again, there is a تاء مربوطة here. So we say غرفة. We make it into تاء مفتوحة. غرفة. And then we attach to it. Did you figure out what's for نحن? Yes, it's نا. So غرفتنا فعلا واسعة. Excellent. Okay. Now, exercise number 8, they want you to fill in. It's on page 44, still addressing ضمائر الملكية, but this exercise, I didn't have a chance to, enough space to write the heading of the question, but what they want is for us to fill in using the appropriate pronoun, whether it's subject pronoun or possessive pronoun. So let's begin. مها تسكن في مدينة نيويورك وطالبة. So basically طالبة, so it means she is a student. So what should I put here? وهي طالبة تدرس الأدب الإنجليزي أو الإنجليزي. والد مصري. So we're talking about her father. So instead of saying والد مها is Egyptian, we don't want to keep repeating مها because we mentioned her name in the beginning of the passage. So now I'm going to say I refer to her with a possessive pronoun. Her father is Egyptian. So والدها مصري. And he works وهو يعمل في الأمم المتحدة. He works at the United Nations. And then we're going to talk about her mother. And notice word mother, والدة, has تاء مربوطة. ووالدة. Instead of saying ووالدة مها, I'm going to have to say and her mother. So I'm going to change this into تاء مفتوحة. ووالدته ها, and I'm going to add the ها. ووالدتها فلسطينية, and she is an employee. وهي موظفة في نفس الجامعة. محمود وعادل وأحمد. So these are 3 people. In your book there is a 4th person, but I wanted to shorten the sentence. محمود وعادل وأحمد are relatives of مها. إذن هم أقارب مها and they are in Cairo. وهم في القاهرة. ونادية, and Nadia is the aunt of Maha. So how do we say this? Instead of saying aunt of Maha, I want to say her aunt. ونادية خالتها. So I'm going to have to replace the تاء مربوطة with تاء مفتوحة and add ها. ونادية خالتها, and she lives وهي تسكن في California. Now I want to talk about her uncle. I say عمها, her uncle, عمها محمود, and his family وأسرته في الإمارات الآن. Okay, so مها تسكن في مدينة نيويورك وهي طالبة تدرس الأدب الإنجليزي. والدها مصري وهو يعمل في الأمم المتحدة، ووالدتها فلسطينية وهي موظفة في نفس الجامعة. محمود وعادل وأحمد هم أقارب مها وهم في القاهرة. ونادية خالتها وهي تسكن في كاليفورنيا. عمها محمود وأسرته في الإمارات الآن. Okay, if you liked today's lesson, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. And I do welcome all of your positive comments and questions. And I will take a photo screen of this, photo shoot of this of these templates, and put them in the description box for you to refer to. And thank you very much for staying tuned. And I look forward to meeting with you again on our platform, Learn Arabic Today. Have a great day. Wassalamu alaikum.